a major excitement. I just think I go out there and I just have fun. When everything's clicking, it's just like, you just feel like can't nothing stop you. I mean, you go back in the pocket, it might be a guy right there, you can hit him short on a short pass, but you can, I just feel like I can scramble and make a big play.
Is nothing new for Danny Ford and the Clemson Tigers. Their bowl history in the 80s includes victories over college football's establishment. And while the names have changed, the formula hasn't. Clemson football is a swarming, punishing defense, complemented by a powerfully potent rushing attack. The combination is a lethal one, and it's made Clemson one of college football's best of the 80s. Presents the 1989 Mazda Gator Bowl as tonight the Clemson Tigers do battle with the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Hello everybody, I'm Ron Franklin, and first of all let me say to you and your family we wish you a very happy and prosperous new year. Well, as we come to a close of this decade of the 80s, this has been a 10-year period that has been better to these two football teams than any time in their football history. Case in point for the Clemson Tigers. They won a national title in the 80s. Also, this is the 6th time that they have gone to a bowl game. And should Danny Ford's ball club win tonight, it would be 3 straight 10-win seasons. On the other side of the field for Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers of West Virginia. This is 7 times that they have been to bowl games during the 80s, and we all remember what happened last year. 11-0, perfect record during the season, and they faced off with Notre Dame for the national championship. For more on the Mountaineers of West Virginia, let's go down to the field, and here's my sidekick, Kevin Kiley, with some of the Mountaineers.
Ron, Don Nehlen is responsible for what they're calling the golden age of West Virginia football. He's the all-time winningest coach in Morgantown, and I think this 1989 team is really an indication of how far he has brought the program. West Virginia lost 25 of their top 35 players from last year's team. What they didn't lose is these great fans, or a man called Major Harris. Harris, a junior quarterback, has rushed for over 2,000 yards in his career. He's passed for over 5,000 yards. He's only the 2nd player in college football history to do that. But West Virginia is up against another great program of the 80s tonight here in Jacksonville. For more on that great Clemson team, here's Chris Fowler.
All right, Kevin, the Tiger fans are ready. They're here to see if their senior class can pick up their 38th victory in the last 4 years. If they do, that would be a conference record. But it's a short-handed Clemson team tonight. Terry Allen, the great running back, is out of this game. He is here, but he won't play because of knee problems that have bothered him all year long. And James Brown, the all-ACC safety, won't play because of academic suspension. But Danny Ford's team is a deep one, and there may not be a better coach in preparing his team for bowl games. He has beaten Woody Hayes, Tom Osborne, Barry Switzer, and Joe Paterno. All 4 of those guys in bowl games. I can't think of another coach that's done that. He'd like to add Don Nehlen to that list tonight, fellas.
Okay, Chris Fowler, we are getting close to kickoff time here at the Mazda Gator Bowl, but don't go away. There's more on the pregame show. In fact, next we'll take you fishing with Danny Ford. Tickets had they had the space. You know, for Danny Ford and his history at Clemson University, he has taken his club to a lot of bowl games, but none is more special than right here in Jacksonville, Florida. There's very good reason for that. This is where it all started for Coach Ford. It was the Gator Bowl of 1978. For the first time ever, Danny Ford would lead the Clemson Tigers into battle. 30 years old and just 19 days on the job, Ford won the respect and hearts of the Clemson faithful as the Tigers defeated Ohio State 17-15. A couple of days ago, Danny and I were fishing on the Intercoastal just outside of Jacksonville, and he reminisced about that first time out.
we go back and we had the tape of the game and everything, you know, you look naive and you look like you didn't know what's going on as a football coach, and I know that's what happened. But again, we had some very fine players in the football game. We were a good football team, very good football team. Had just a lot of people go on in the pros off that football team, and they took care of us for that first football game. Quite a learning experience. I wouldn't recommend it for a coach starting out. Everybody wanted to be one, but you got to have a little bit better preparation than I had going in, I believe.
Danny, that first night that you walked into Gator Bowl Stadium, what were you thinking then?
There were just so many things that I wasn't aware of. You know, warming up before a game, how much time to be off the field, timeout situation. As assistant coach, you never worry about those things. There's always somebody else in charge of that. And when to use your timeouts, worrying about the win, when not worried about the win, and a lot of things that you never even worry about. So I think that's why I've learned that you better have good assistant coaches to handle a football game. And all the head coach, I think, should do is be in charge of the situation.
What about a fondest memory from that first Gator Bowl, your first head coaching day?
We had a little get-together with the coaches after the game, and, you know, you'd been around people all day, and so my wife and I, we wanted to get together and just go back and see what happened that day, to see if we were dreaming or somebody could pinch us and wake us up or whatever. And it must have been 2 or 3 o'clock that night. We got a meatball submarine sandwich, and I can still remember the little shack or little restaurant we ate at on Jacksonville Beach, and there were the only people in there, and we caught it at closing time, and then we walked back to the hotel, and that's probably as fond a memory as I got of Jacksonville that night.
And down on the field, there he is, this time without the sandwich, Danny Ford and the Clemson Tigers.
This point is provided by the U.S.
Virginia Mountaineers. ESPN's presentation of the 1989 Mazda Gator Bowl. You deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. Before we do, let's go to Kevin for tonight's X's and O's. Kev?
Ron, the strength of the Clemson team has always been their ability to run the ball. The strength of the West Virginia team, well, is strength. They're one of the most powerful and strongest teams in the NCAA, and they'll need all that muscle tonight if they're to stop a very fine rushing attack of Clemson, an attack that will go without their leading rusher, Terry Allen. Clemson will substitute 3 different tailbacks to try to equal the production of one healthy Terry Allen. For West Virginia, there's no doubt. Major Harris is the leader of the offense. He's a great player, incredibly quick, and the master of the big play. There are only a few players on this field tonight that are as quick as Major Harris. Unfortunately for him, they're all Clemson linebackers. It'll be the Fox being chased by a bunch of hounds tonight, and it promises to be an interesting and exciting chase. What Major needs is a little bit of help from the inside running game and some help from another big play performer, 6'6" wide receiver Reggie Rembert. If Major and Rembert hook up, points will be scored, and we'll have one heck of a ball game. Ron?
Kevin Kiley, thanks so much. You can see the 2 teams are now lining up on the field. It will be the Clemson Tigers, attired in the orange tops, and the White Sox to our right, who will be receiving. As you look at Brad Carroll, the kicker for West Virginia. And the 45th anniversary, the 1989 Mazda Gator Bowl is just about underway. And here we go. 2 yards deep in the end zone, and Michael Carr says, nope, I will not bring it out. So let's meet the Clemson offense. Chris Morocco will open at quarterback, youngster out of Athens, Georgia. Behind him, Joe Henderson and Tony Kennedy. The wideouts, Gary Cooper and Rodney Fletcher. The tight end, academic All-American Stacy Fields. In the middle, Hank Phillips is the center. The 2 guards, Flesh and Harmon. And the tackles, Bruce Bratton and Stacy Long out of Griffin, Georgia. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line on a magnificent evening here in Jacksonville. A week ago tonight, I'm not sure if we could have played this football game. Snow and ice in northern Florida. Morocco reverses out, throws the pass, has it complete out to the 31-yard line. Rodney Fletcher on the reception. It's a gain of 12. And let's meet the defense for West Virginia. Jim Gray is the nose tackle. Mike Fox and Scott Summits, the defensive tackles. On the outside at linebacker, Brockman and Turnbull. On the inside, it's Chris Herring and Theron Ellis. In the secondary, Waters and Fulton to the corners. At the safeties, Whitmore and Basil Proctor. Henderson crosses the 35 and out to the 37. Ronaldo Turnbull there to make the stop, but it's going to be a gain of about 4.
Ron, Clemson is a team that is a master of 3 running plays. The inside power, the toss sweep, and the sprint draw, and that is what they want to do. In spite of a pass on first down, it is a running team that needs to run to be successful.
Make it a gain of 5. They need the 42. Straight ahead with the fullback. Kennedy has maybe one. Jim Gray stepped up into the hole to make the hit on him. And now a third down situation for Coach Ford. As you look on it, Don Nealon.
Key performer for West Virginia tonight, defensive tackle number 61, left side of your screen, Mike Fox. He gets off low, piles it up, allows the rest of the defense to come in and make the play. A key for West Virginia is to pile up and stop the Clemson offensive line. When this team wins, it bullies the other team. West Virginia cannot allow that.
First third down situation of the night. Morocco under pressure by Fox, gets away from Turnbull and then runs into more Mountaineers. Theron Ellis gets credit for the sack, along with Fox on the pressure.
6'7", 288 pounds. It's that man again. From the other side now, watch 61. His assignment, he told us yesterday, create chaos, get off hard, make things happen. He doesn't get the sack, but he makes the play. That's tremendous defensive tackle play for West Virginia.
Chris Gardocki, an average of almost 43 yards per try. His longest 62 this season. Will kick it to number 15, James Jett. And he's a left footer. And boy, this one may go to the St. Johns River. Inside the 10, and now his dive. Going to go out of bounds at the 4. 63 yards. Well, Major Harris is going to be greeted with a 4-yard line start. He'll be at quarterback. Behind him, Napoleon and Rico Tyler. His wide receivers look for big Reggie Rembert along with Greg Dykes. The tight end, Adrian Moss. The center, Jeff Price. The guards, Scott Parker and Dale Wolfling. And the tackles, Jack Lynn and Matt Ratcher.
63 yards.
Gardocki putting the Mountaineers in the hole to start it off with their first offensive possession. Pressure from the outside as the handoff goes to Ford. Takes it out close to the 10-yard line. And let's look at Clemson's defense. Rob Bodine out of Belva, North Dakota is the nose guard. The 2 defensive tackles, Moore and Vance Hammond. The outside backers, Johnson and Kirkland. 2 very good ones and very active, as these 2 in the middle, Brewster and McDaniel. The corner, Jerome Henderson and Dexter Davis. The safeties, Robert O'Neill and Arlington Nunn. Major back to his end zone, gets it away, going to go long for Rembert. He's there and he falls down. Incidental contact at the 45.
The coverage was there all the way. Now, this shows you the strength of the arm of Major Harris. He threw this ball from the end zone. It's thrown a little bit too far inside. And Rembert trips over his own feet from the goal line. Now watch the passing motion. Wham! Under pressure, he stood in there. Pretty good job by Major Harris getting the ball out there just a little bit too long.
That was Johnson, number 12, who was in his face. And now third down. The ball back, fumbled by Ford. Now that he fumbled, well, it didn't matter. Stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line, and that will be plenty enough for the first down.
That's what makes Major Harris such a threat and such a great college football player. He is not afraid to do anything. Now, Clemson will block the corner. You'll see nobody comes up to challenge Harris. Bodine gets blocked right there. Now, here comes Harris to the corner. No fear in this guy. He has the yardage he can get. He pitches it to Ford, who bobbles it. Does he have possession? No, he did not have it. The official gave it to him anyway.
At the 19, first down. Look for the reverse. It's Rimbert. Gets a block from Harris somewhat. Needs a block at the 35. And finally will be tackled at the 50-yard line. And a flag is down back at the 20.
Going to call it a clip on Clemson. They're going to bring this thing back. On West Virginia, excuse me. Another thing that Major will do for you, he will confuse you defensively. And I think that him being on the field was a product of that play being successful before the penalty, of course.
Clipping against West Virginia during the run. Will replay first down.
All right, when you're playing against Major Harris, you have to be aware of where he is on the field at all times. When he pitches it, everybody figures, well, he doesn't have it. But now Rembert's got it coming back the other way. That looks like what they call the clip. But I didn't see a clip. It was out of the picture.
I think Ratcher hit 44 Kirkland from behind. There it is.
There it is.
Harris zips it to Rembert. Hit immediately. Davis with nice contact. Davis gives up about 7 or 8 inches.
What he's going to have to be careful of, Ron, Davis, is coming up on that play. They will take what they give him. They'll take Davis laying off of them. They'll hit that pass and hit that pass, and then they'll turn Rembert upfield, and it's going to be real tough for Davis to recover. He's got to be careful that he doesn't come up too quick on that play.
They've already gone once long to Reggie Rembert. I wouldn't be surprised if you see it again soon. Don Nealon leaned in that direction yesterday. Mix up on the play. And Harris is going to turn it into positive yardage. Most people would have been longed for a loss. He picks up 3. Arlington none defensively.
Ron, I don't know that wasn't a set play. I think they were trying to run a quarterback draw off the left guard, and it wasn't there, and Harris just used his ability to fake 2 guys out and get outside. He is quick. Oh, he's quick. What Chris Herring say? I asked him, I said, how quick is Major? He said, he's beyond quick. Herring, of course, a linebacker that plays against him in practice every day. What is beyond quick?
Major Herring.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Third down. They need the 29. Up the middle, Rembert. 25 yards.
And wide open. And James Lott, the starting safety for Clemson, is not in this game. He was suspended, and he is not playing. He is not suited up. He is the man that calls defensive signals. And watch how wide open the leading receiver for West Virginia is. I mean, there is no one within 10 yards of him. If he doesn't fall down, he runs for another 20. See the double on the outside receiver? They forget about the man in the slot. That's Rembert. And if he doesn't fall down, he's gone another 20 yards. Clemson's going to have to do better than that.
Clemson shifting on defense. Pass is caught on the near sideline. Hit immediately as Dykes and knocked out of bounds at the 50. That's now 3 of 4 for Major Harris for about 42 yards.
What we're seeing here is a quarterback executing a game plan very well. Now, this is not necessarily the way Major plays all the time, but they evidently have come in here with a strict game plan, and Major Harris is sticking to it, and it's working extremely well.
On second and short, straight ahead is Ford. Finds a big opening inside the 45, and he's down to the Clemson 41. David Davis comes up to make the stop, but it's a gain of 10.
Middle guard for Clemson, Rob Bodine, is not a real big guy, number 99. The West Virginia people felt that they could run against Danny Ford's middle guard. They felt that they needed to make yardage up the middle. Garrett Ford is the ECAC Rookie of the Year, and he is a guy that they feel can run the ball against the middle of that Clemson defense.
Ninth play of the drive. Harris gets away, now shows touch, and he's got Rembert. Looks for a block, covered in orange, but it's a first down. West Virginia at the 22.
The offense starts with number 9. Impossible to cover a receiver of Reggie Rembert's ability without containing Major Harris. Now, Rembert is just looking for a place to go. Hanging out, checking the defense. He sees Major coming to the sideline, holds up those big hands, 6'6", and on the loose in the Clemson secondary. Not what you would want if you're playing defense in orange.
You saw number 97, David Davis, pursuing Major Harris, but he got away. 3 catches by Rembert, now 49 yards. Rico Tyler, as they give it with the fullback. He'll go inside the 20 and down to the 18. Vance Hammond, the big junior out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, corrals him along with Doug Brewster.
This game, Ron, we talked to the West Virginia people. This game means a tremendous amount to West Virginia. The difference between 8-2-1 and 9-2-1 for them on the follow-up of that 11-1 year is absolutely essential. They feel for the strength of their program they have to win this game.
11th play of the drive, straight ahead with the handoff again, and inside the 15 and down to the 14-yard line is Garrett Ford. You see 44 Kirkland getting off the bottom of the stack. And also 49 Wayne Simmons, only a freshman. He's out of Pilton Head. This drive started back at the 4-yard line, Kevin, and they have done a great job of utilizing the clock. We are now down to 7.5 minutes left in the open period. Ford again, hit hard at the line of scrimmage, spins off one tackler. 92 Doug Brewster got a piece of him, and that will be enough, I believe, for the first down. Yes, first to 10 Mountaineers. David Davis goes out of the ball game at nose guard. Rob Bodine comes back in replacing him. So the situation, the Mountaineers started the drive back at their own 4-yard line following a great 63-yard punt by Gardocki. They have now driven it to the 12-yard line. 13th play of the drive. Will be hit at the line of scrimmage, and Otis Moore will knock him down for no gain, possibly a loss of 1.
It's a nice job by the Clemson defense. One of the quickest defenses in the country. You're going to see it here now, how they contain Harris. They get him to go a little bit deep. Watch the backside pursuit. The front side pursuit more. Nice job getting a hold of a very slippery customer. But now you got 2nd and long, and things get real dangerous. Look out for Rembert. He's real big. They like to lob the ball to him, and Harris can break for the end zone at any time.
Great numbers inside the 20 for West Virginia. Good protection. Now it breaks down. Harris in the end zone. Touchdown, Jet. Touchdown of the year out of Shepherdstown, West Virginia. James Jett, good for 12 yards. And the Mountaineers now try to go up 7-0 off the toe of Brad Carroll.
They call him Mr. Excitement. He calls himself Mr. Excitement, and this is why you cannot play defense against this kind of ability when it gets outside. No one knows what to do at this point, and Jet breaks open. A defensive back cannot make that kind of an adjustment.
7-0. West Virginia goes on top following a 96-yard drive. ESPN's presentation of the 1989 Mazda Virginia bolts on top, and you see all the time we have left in this opening period. Normally you would think with a passing team that not that much time would roll off the clock, but the Mountaineers taking it 96 yards of the touchdown. Jeff Thomas from the 2. Thomas breaks off a couple of tackles, brings it across the 20-yard line. 6:05 left to play in this opening period. We'll be right back to Jacksonville.
Metabolic function check. Respiration systems on. Okay, so you
giving problems to the defensive line and linebackers, but a defensive back who is trying to cover a receiver, has got in the back of his mind, where is that guy? And it will distract him. And that's what happened here. And James Jett found himself open in the back of the end zone. Arlington Nunn couldn't get there. 14 plays, 96 yards for West Virginia. Pretty impressive, Ron, in over 6 minutes.
Well, you talk about having variety in your offense. 8 rushing plays, 6 passing plays. Major 3 of 4 in the pocket, 2 of 2 while scrambling. Straight ahead with the handoff. Short yardage for Joe Henderson as he takes it out to the 27. Theron Ellis has him in his grasp. Well, Major Harris now resting on the sideline. Kevin, a lot of speculation nationally that this will be his final collegiate game.
Yeah, I believe it is his final game, and the reason stated, I believe there's a little bit of a problem at West Virginia in terms of his practicing, the things he does. It has been reported out of West Virginia that he may not be doing the things he needs to do in college to stay in West Virginia.
Morocco pitching back to Henderson, knocked out of bounds at the 35 by Chris Herring. But that will be enough for the Tiger first down. This man, Don Nealon, told us yesterday that he will sit down with Major very soon after this football game, and they will discuss Major's future, whether it will be at West Virginia or elsewhere.
Wherever he goes, he will be remembered very fondly at West Virginia. He's been a great athlete and led them to the best years in their history. Still doing it tonight.
What a magnificent athlete. Davis in motion as the pitch back hit in the backfield and knocked down as 97 Lonnie Brockman grabs Henderson and drops him for a loss back at the 31.
Oh, you hear a lot about Ronaldo Turnbull, the other defensive end or outside linebacker for West Virginia. But any opposing coach will tell you, hey, that other guy is quite a player. The other guy is Lonnie Brockman.
Brockman is a guy that Don Nealon said openly, I wish we could have redshirted him. They were not able to. He said, I wish we had him back for one more year because he has really come on to flourish. 6'4", 200 at 31 pounds. It is his final year. Morocco pulls up, throws the pass, has it complete to Cooper out at the 40. Darren Whitmore is there to knock him down after a gain of 9. And now for the Tigers, they need the 45, and they're looking at a third down situation.
What they ask of a Clemson quarterback is not to turn the ball over and be a pretty good passer on the run. And you're looking at it. Chris Morocco, he'll never be a great passer, although his percentage will always be high because Clemson will not put him in a position to fail.
With the handoff, and there is nothing there for Wesley McFadden. Maybe a couple of yards. Ronaldo Turnbull down to the bottom of the stack, along with big number 61, Mike Fox.
The thing about Fox is he gets off very low, and he's tough to move. He didn't stay on his feet, but look who's at the bottom of the pile, and watch the rest of the defense. And now here's Turnbull, and this is a big guy, 6'5", and he gets all of it into the ball carrier. But credit Mike Fox with the assist for piling it up.
Gardocki, 63 yards in his last kick. Good spiral, not as long as the one before. Will not be caught. It will go inside the 15 and dead inside the 13-yard line. 7-0 our score. West Virginia on top, just over 3 to play first period. Franklin and Kevin Kiley back in Jacksonville, Florida. This gives you an indication of why the Mountaineers are on top 7-0. Average gain on first down. Clemson 4 yards, West Virginia 7. Harris fakes the draw play and throws it incomplete to Rico Tyler. Let's go down to the field. Here's Chris Fowler.
Ron, bowl games are so different from regular season games, of course, because of the layout. Different coaches deal with it different ways. Danny Ford has always taken the physical approach. His team had 6 days of two-a-days once they got down here to North Florida. Don Nealon also tried that approach this year. He didn't last year. His team did not perform well in the Fiesta Bowl. He said he didn't recognize them. So he's also gone to the two-a-day approach. Mountaineers did most of the work before they got down to Florida, though, fellas.
Thanks, Chris. What was it the Clemson player said yesterday? At least once a week, we always know. Harris in the short drop. Quick out pass, good to Rembert. Hit at the 21 and being shoved back by Jerome Henderson. From the spotting of the ball, he is still going to need about 1.5 yards. A good look at Reggie Rembert. Many people say not only a first-round pick, that he could indeed be the very first pick in the upcoming NFL draft.
Well, I don't think it's helped Rembert to play. Well, it's helped him to win. I don't think it's helped him to play with Major Harris. I'll explain that in a little bit in terms of running patterns and things he'll need in the pros.
Quick pass, tipped in the air by LeVon Kirkland. Kirkland already has 3 interceptions on the year and almost had a 4th.
That's a great series for this Clemson defense and something they really needed. They needed to stop it. Now watch where Major throws the ball. He throws it low, and Kirkland, that ball didn't even clear Kirkland's head. He felt that he should have caught it. I know he's upset.
Dexter Davis waiting on the punt. Back at the 34. Return to the right. No block is there. Great coverage by West Virginia, but now here he comes back to the other side. Can he turn the corner? Yes. 45, and is knocked out of bounds by the kicker at the 50-yard line. Herzog knocked him out of bounds, 45 yards in the kick, 15 on the return, and the reason for the boos is Clemson fans thought he hit him out of bounds.
This is a really nice job by the West Virginia team covering on this side, but watch when he turns around. I want you to watch number 97, Brockman. He gets caught inside right there. Now he needed to be outside a little further, and he let Davis get the corner on him and pick up another 10 yards.
Herzog had a head of steam, and he said, I've come this far, I'm not going to slow down now. Morocco rolls the pocket, throws it in and out of the hands of Rodney Fletcher. You could see he was triple covered there. Steve Grant, number 4. Chris Morocco, a senior out of Athens, Georgia. His father, I should say, very good player at the University of Georgia.
Zippy. That's a tough one to forget. The Zipster, as his friends call it.
Danny Ford said probably of all the players on his team, offensively and defensively, that Morocco has been his most pleasant surprise. He has gotten better and better. Henderson on the draw, breaks it open across the 45 and down to the 44.
Clemson does not lose quickness when they lose Terry Allen, who is not in the game, but they do lose a little bit of power inside. Let's watch Stacy Long on this play. And here comes Henderson up the middle. A lot of quickness, a big hole.
Henderson, 756 yards on the season. Morocco rides the fullback, going to keep it himself, and he'll have the Clemson first down. Chris Herring, one of the inside backers, is the man that comes over and makes the hit. I have to say that this guy is one of my favorite players of the entire season, and he's another coach's son. Yesterday, he was one of 2 recipients of the scholarship awards at the big luncheon held down here in Jacksonville. He's a 3+ student, and he has never missed a practice, let alone a ball game. And what a great attitude. He really is fun to talk to. Straight ahead with the fullback, Kennedy, running free at the 21.
You're looking at the strength now of the Clemson team, and this is what they'll do. They'll blow you out and wear you down. Eric Harmon, Stacy Long clear the way, 76 and 67. And here's Kennedy, and this guy is a load. Watch it from behind. A quick hitter, not all that much of a hole, but he's by Brockman before he knows what hit him, and into the secondary. This is what Clemson does best. Not fancy, but very, very tough.
Kennedy, 6'1", 225 pounds, only a sophomore. Henderson, part of the 1-2 punch. He'll take it for 3. Scott Summits, a senior out of Davidsville, Pennsylvania, is the first man to make contact.
It's very, very important for West Virginia to stop Clemson's line at the line of scrimmage because they are not quick. They are very, very strong, West Virginia, but they really don't run all that well. If they get a seam, it's going to be tough for West Virginia to close it. So what happens on the initial contact is real important. You saw it on that run by Kennedy.
Second down and 8. Henderson gets the pitch, looks for a block. good move to the outside, but he's got to be tackled as a marker goes down at the 16, and it is not close to the first down, but this could be a penalty against West Virginia.
It's going to be on Whitmore, I think, on the tackle.
I got you.
This is good. If you're not sure, go back and ask again. Now here comes the announcement.
We have a face mask. Just West Virginia. It'll be a first down.
That was definitely not an intentional play. Whitmore just got his hand on the wrong place and grabbed the face mask. Tough break for West Virginia. That was an excellent job getting outside and some pretty good blocking by the Clemson line again.
No time remaining, but you cannot end the quarter on a defensive penalty. So it is first and goal with the ball at the 9.5-yard line. Inside handoff down to the 5 as a helmet goes flying, and Tony Kennedy will have it down inside the 5 to the 4. Brockman is there to make the stop. So that is the end of the first quarter. And as they head to the other end of the field, 7-0, West Virginia, the Tigers are threatening. 5th anniversary of the Mazda Gator Bowl. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley from Jacksonville, Florida, helping celebrate this 45th anniversary and wishing you and your family a very happy new year at what appears to be another in a long line of great games. 2nd and goal from the 4. Pitch comes to Henderson. He is in trouble, will be knocked down for a loss. Back at the 7. Lawrence Drumgoole is the man who knocked his feet out from under him.
One of the things that works against Clemson in a situation like this is a team knows they will not pass the ball. In most cases, Drumgoole comes in. Look at that. He knocks down 2 blockers.
And Kennedy actually knocked his feet out from under him.
Right, and got the ball. That's a great defensive play, but it's helped by the fact that Clemson is a very predictable team. They want to bully you. They want to push you off the ball. If they're not able to do that, you can stop them.
Well, a timeout has been called by Clemson, as coming onto the field were both Cooper and Fletcher, 2 wide receivers, as Danny Ford was sending in what appeared to be a passing situation. And the Tigers say, nope, let's don't get caught for a 5-yard penalty down here, so let's take a timeout. That, by the way, Kevin, is the 3rd tackle for a loss made by West Virginia already in this game. Extremely impressive. And the storyline so far, West Virginia, that opening drive, 96 yards. Harris, 6 of 9. 76 yards, 1 touchdown. That one's a jet. Gardocki, look at that average, 54 yards per punt. On the first 2 drives, a 15-yard average by Cleveland. Or by Clemson, I should say. And on this drive, 46 yards. As it all started just around midfield.
This is a very, you can see it on Danny's face, this is a very difficult situation for a Clemson team that really does not throw the ball well when they have to throw it. Close to the end zone, Morocco is not that type of quarterback. They have Stacy Fields as their starting tight end, and he does not catch the ball well.
8th play on the drive. It is a 3rd down situation. The ball just inside the 7, and it's a 3rd and goal. And now the officials say back to the huddle. We are not quite ready as yet. Checking into the ball game at wide receiver, Gary Cooper and Rodney Fletcher. And of the 2, they had 5 touchdown passes between them. Fletcher 1 and Cooper with 4. Cooper is the angular one. In fact, the pads really add weight to him. I could tell you, 6'2", 196 pounds. Very thin young man, but great hands. They run the reverse. This is Cooper, the man we were just talking about. Outside to make the play is Ronnie Brockman.
What you saw here is a team that really did not have the weapons to get into the end zone. A very difficult situation, and it'll give you an idea about what type of team you're talking about. A team that runs a reverse on the goal line. West Virginia not fooled for a minute. Brockman right where he is supposed to be, and they stop him for yet another loss.
Gardocki, 20 of 26 on the year in field goal attempts. This is an attempt of 27 yards. Good pass. Clemson Tigers, after 2 straight losses on 2nd and 3rd down, go for the field goal. They're good. 7-3 our score. As I mentioned off the top of the telecast, 1 week ago tonight, they might have had the first cancellation of the Gator Bowl because this place had an inch of snow and ice, and we've heard some horror stories about people in the state of Florida trying to drive under those kind of conditions, and certainly the bridges had to be closed down. On the far side is James Jett. Carl Hayes, number 31, you looked at on the near side as Gardocki kicks it off. And this will come to Hayes 1 yard deep. He'll return. Good coverage by Clemson as he's tackled at the 17. And once again, let's go to Chris Fowler.
All right, fellas, I'm with the Ripley. Ripley, the undefeated years of football.
Chris, we're going to come back to you, partner. It's a very good story from those youngsters who have come down here to the Gator Bowl game, but for some reason his microphone was cutting out. We'll go back and pick up that story in just a moment. Major Harris pitches back to Ford. Big gaping hole, 10, 15, and out to the 35-yard line as Arlington Nunn saved a touchdown.
Oh, you got the horses. Remember I told you this is one of the strongest teams in the NCAA. Watch the offensive line just push people out of the way. A real deep pitch to Garrett Ford, and no one within anywhere of that ball as Garrett Ford goes deep. Rico Tyler, great block, the fullback.
Ford in motion. He's had a great night rushing the ball so far as Harris zips the pass in and out of the hands of his tight end Adrian Moss. And now let's go back to Chris Fowler. Chris?
Okay, fellas, I think we have the with the Ripley West Virginia high school football team. And believe it or not, Ripley with their first undefeated season in 70 years of playing football as a reward. Local business people raise money so the folks can get out of the cold, come down here and enjoy the Gator Bowl. They're a long way up, 75 rows up the field, but they're having a great time.
Thanks, Chris. The true Ripley's, believe it or not. 7-3 our score. West Virginia leads. As the pitch to Ford, it cuts back into traffic. Levon Kirkland on the hit. Ball comes free. And let's see, I think he's down. He is at the 37. And McLaughlin is the man who made first contact. And when I mean made first contact, Chester McLaughlin is 6'4", 296 pounds. And it probably, when he makes first contact, did you feel an aftershock? Third down. And for West Virginia, they need their own 44. Outside linebacker blitz is on, and Kirkland will have him at the 32-yard line.
All right, what Clemson has wanted to do against Major Harris, and they finally got him in a predictable situation, is rush outside, keep outside leverage, and force him to step up. Watch Levon Kirkland. He's going to go by Major Harris, but he has the outside leverage. They force him up. They close in on him. Great play by Levon Kirkland, but also the rest of the defense.
Greg Herzog with the kick, and this is another driving spiral. Dexter Davis all the way back to the 15, now retreats. At the 20, and oh, what a hit at the 20-yard line. Brockman on the special teams, 51 yards in the punt and 3 on the return. Well, be sure to be with ESPN on Monday at 12 noon for New Year's game day. Bob Carpenter and Lee Corso take the show to Miami's Orange Bowl, where they'll preview the New Year's Day bowl games. And also take a special look at Michigan coach Bo Schembechler as he prepares for his final game. And in fact, the crew will follow him around for the entire day to get a look at Bo as he closes it out. And Bill McCartney and Lou Holtz will join Bob and Lee as they brace for the Orange Bowl showdown. Morocco gets the pass in and out of the hands of Kennedy, and he hit him right in the breadbasket.
Clemson is at a loss a little bit. You see Danny. Now, they don't usually throw the ball deep in their own territory, but he indicated to us when we met with him that they would have to do some things differently. And you can tell by the look in his eye that Danny would rather have his toenails pulled off with a pair of pliers than throw a pass in his own territory.
I started to say, inside the 40-yard line for them to throw is most rare.
That's because Terry Allen's not in the game. They really don't have the strength and power and speed of that one back.
Pressure from the outside as the pitch comes to Henderson. Turns it up across the 25 to the 27. Drumgoole will make the tackle, and it's going to be 3 yards shy of the first down.
Boy, that was a great job by Drumgoole on the outside. It just held his position. He gave a few yards up, but he was able to keep leverage and make the play.
Some of the competition in the stands, that gentleman's smart to have on a headgear, I think. NBA just about to hit the midway point of their season, regular season, certainly not the playoffs. That goes on well into summer. Straight ahead with Kennedy, spins forward, and with the second effort might have the first down. Turnbull is the man who hit him and spun him around, but Ronaldo could not lock him up. And from the spotting the ball, it's going to be first down Clemson.
What you're going to see is Fox and Turnbull on the outside. Now watch 61 Fox. Fox goes down, but look at Turnbull taking an inside route and making first contact on Kennedy. Turnbull is very tall, about 250 pounds. They expect in the pros that he will not be a stand-up player, but a down lineman as he was there. It's pretty good defense.
But Davis in motion to give to Henderson. Little cutback out across the 35 as Lonnie Brockman trips him up. Speaking of Turnbull, coming up at halftime, he's one of our features. Out of St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. How in the world did he wind up in Morgantown, West Virginia? We'll tell you at halftime. Speaking of Ronaldo, also at halftime, really nice story that Vino Cook did, profiling Frank Howard, the gentleman they called the legend on the Clemson campus. And also a big band salute here at the 45th anniversary of the Gator Bowl. Inside handoff to Wesley McFadden. He'll go for a couple, and again, Clemson will look at a third down situation at about 2.5 yards.
Well, Herring made that tackle, but West Virginia's defensive line is winning the battle in the trenches. Fox and Gray and Summits are just not getting moved off the ball. You see number 49 left of your screen, able to step up and make that tackle. Clemson needs movement on those down people.
Kev, he got a good spot off the ball. They now have placed him about 1.5 yards away rather than 2.5. Straight ahead with the fullback, first down. McFadden knifing his way at right tackle. Already, Herring has been credited for 8 tackles in the ballgame. Skip Fuller came over to get a piece of him then.
We asked Herring about what he felt like playing against a team like Clemson that likes to run the ball. Is it a grueling game? And he lit up. He was so excited. He said, no. He said, I love these type of games. We'll get a lot of hits, a lot of tackles. The more physical they are, the better I like it. He's a great player and a real good kid.
Kennedy and McFadden, as you can see to the backside. Joe Henderson, actually, number 33, the tailback. Morocco, deep set, drills the pass. It complete to his tight end Field, crosses the 50 and down to the 48. Gain of 10 on the play. It's only his 12th reception of the year, and Stacy was one of those athletes honored yesterday for academics.
And when you hear about great quarterbacks, great passing quarterbacks, you don't hear about Chris Morocco, but he leads Clemson career in passing efficiency. He gets the job done, and that's what Danny Ford asks for, as does Fields. Not great hands, but when he hits you in the chest and it sticks, you don't need your hands.
Stacy Fields, a junior. He'll be back next season. Out of Frogmore, South Carolina. One of 16 starters that will return to Clemson next year. Straight ahead with Kennedy. Runs into his own man, still powering down inside the 45. Ronaldo Turnbull is down at the bottom of the stack.
Kennedy on the carry.
Down Nealon, trying to get a victory here.
Turnbull on the stop.
As you heard Chris say just a while ago, he changed up his workout patterns for this one. He was not pleased with the way his club looked last year in that national championship game. But I really didn't realize they had 7 weeks off last year before they played that game. Henderson, head of steam, pounds his way inside the 40, and Clemson will look at a third down and short again.
They're now getting some movement now on the offensive line. Phillips, the center, Stacy Long. Watch Stacy Long, 67. There's a good block. He's holding the block. You get a block from Kennedy, the fullback, and that's just enough to get a little movement in a crease, and that's all Clemson needs. That is their offense. You just saw it.
Scott Summit, you could see him, number 73, playing off the block and finally making the stop. They go in the quick count. Morocco will keep it. First down and about 10 yards more.
West Virginia becoming very aware of the inside running a game as Clemson pounds it. Now watch Morocco. And this is what Clemson quarterbacks have always done well. He's not giving it to anybody. Brockman gets caught inside. You see it. Morocco just turns it upfield immediately and picks up the yardage and protects the ball. That is a Clemson quarterback, and they are well drilled. You talk to Danny Ford. He says, I'd rather have a good offensive lineman than a quarterback anytime. I can make a quarterback out of an offensive guard.
Well, it might be stretching just a little. Morocco will hold on. He saw nothing there, and he did the smart thing. He just went down as Mike Fox, who has been extremely impressive in every game that we have televised of West Virginia this year, comes over to get down on top of him. Mike is 6'7", 288 pounds, out of Akron, Ohio, and he is a senior also.
We asked him what he ran the 40, and he told us, oh, about 4'8", and then we asked Don Nealon, and Don said, oh, about 5'2".
He flipped the difference, 5 flat.
Let's give him
Some people think that Fox could be a real sleeper in the draft.
I think he's a great player.
12th play of the drive. Lawrence down to the 21-yard line. It's got to be a third down, and Clemson will look at about 5 yards to get the first.
All right, toss, sweep, inside power, and this play, the sprint out draw. Why is it so effective? They hand it off deep, and the running back will cut back and cause lots of problems. It gives him the opportunity to read the defense, read the blocking schemes, and see where the holes are. Tough down coming up here, Ron. Excuse me, for Clemson. This is very similar to the play that they ran a reverse on when they needed a touchdown. A third and long in the other team's territory.
Chris Morocco turns around and says, we want to talk some more. Let's call a timeout. So with 5 minutes, 21 seconds left until halftime, 7-3 Tigers with a timeout.
Up on our tour.
21 seconds left until halftime at his 45th Mazda Gator Bowl. As Danny Ford visited with his quarterback, Chris Morocco, over on the sideline. Made a couple of changes offensively, and now the backs that he has in the ballgame, Tony Kennedy and Joe Henderson. Blitz from the outside. Morocco with his pass, gets it away, completed. Cooper's knee hits the ground. You see the official coming in from the far sideline. He could see it better than anyone, and he said, nope, your knee went down. He will be denied the first down.
Oh, this is a very well-executed play and a tremendous effort by Cooper. Morocco gets the ball off immediately. He's going to get it to Cooper in plenty of time to make a move, and look at the move. Boy, that's a tough call, whether or not that knee went down.
I don't think his knee did go down.
Now, Clemson, this is no automatic field goal for Clemson, and they run the fullback on short yardage more than any team in the country. Very predictable.
Fourth down. They need just over a yard. Morocco will keep it to the 2.
Watch him go with the option now. They're going to fake inside to the fullback. Nothing there. And watch how quickly Morocco makes a decision. And look at the blocking. The hook block on the corner. Tremendous block, and Morocco is into the secondary. Jeff Fletch is the one that made the hook block for him. The left guard, Morocco, great decision-making down inside the 5.
And another timeout has been called on the field. Again, charged to the Tigers as they are looking at their 15th play of the drive. 7-3 our score with just over 4 minutes to play until halftime. Chris Morocco, who graduated last summer with a marvelous job on the option play, taking it down inside the 5-yard line. Chris Fowler is down to the sideline visiting with a guy who would love to be suited up tonight. Chris?
He sure would. This is Terry Allen, the Clemson tailback. Terry, you were telling me that West Virginia is a different kind of opponent. You've had to take a different approach on offense for this game.
Yeah, they're a lot bigger up front than any other team we faced, and we're going to have to use our quickness to outquick them. We think that our offensive line can come off the ball a little quicker than they can, and this is Joe's type of game because he's a real quick inside runner, and their guys are too big to adjust to his inside game.
After rehab on your knee, the doctors tell you 100% for next year?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. Thanks, Terry. Fellas?
Chris, thanks so much. We wish him the very best. Obviously a Wayne Gretzky fan with his Kings hat on there. Danny Ford made the statement that, yes, he would love to have had that young man for the ball game, but he's only a junior, and why take a chance in one ball game and jeopardize his entire senior year?
He is a great player, a great player.
Kennedy, McFadden, and Henderson, the three backs in the ball game, as Clemson will go with the power set. Just over 4 minutes to play until halftime. You can see where the football lies, with the Mountaineers holding on to a 4-point lead, and right now that is in jeopardy with the Tigers knocking at the door.
Nose to nose, lips to lips here, and if they can move West Virginia, they'll do it right here.
Straight ahead to the 1-foot line is McFadden, but he didn't get in.
All right, it's man against man, and again, West Virginia's strength is their strength. Let's see if they can do it. They do a real nice job of standing people up. Kennedy again with a crunching block, leading, but just not good enough to move the West Virginia defense far enough. This is Danny loves this stuff. Like, oh, he didn't get it yet, but I'm going to get it this time.
Second down. McFadden, and he will not get in. He might have lost a half a yard. Deron Ellis, one of the inside backers for the Mountaineers, first to make contact.
Well, if you're an inside linebacker in a play like this, all you want is a place to put your feet. That's what you're asking from your defensive line. Give me a place to put my feet so I can hit this guy. Watch the defensive line. Great explosion. And look at Ellis. He's got his feet on the ground. He's able to get traction, and bang, he knocks him back. Danny says, oh, catching fish is a lot easier than this.
McFadden will walk in. Tries to put his ball club up by 3 after an extremely impressive drive by Clemson. 18 plays, and they brought it down under 3 minutes left until halftime. The left footer is perfect. On the season now 39 of 39.
They love Wesley McFadden at Clemson. He's a team leader, a blocker, a former tailback that moved the fullback for the good of the team, and you see the tailback in him right there. He made the cut outside immediately. Tremendous play. Very simple, but not all backs can do that.
Picture perfect blocking of the outside, and the Tigers have forged on top. Well, we don't disagree with that sign right there, as the Clemson fans now standing and cheering in unison. Their ball club has gone on top, 10-7, with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left until halftime. It kept the one thing that Danny Ford wanted to do, or two things actually, and that was hold down the big play by Major Harris and the Mountaineers, and the other thing was long possession drives that would keep that offense off the field. That last one did just that.
I think you hit it. One leads to the other, the long possession drive. I mean, these guys, they could have had leather helmets and no teeth out there for the way that drive went. That looked like football about 70 years ago, and that's the way Clemson plays, and that is the West Virginia defense.
Gardocki with the kickoff. It is going to come down to Jet at the 5. 25. Breaks the first wave and comes out over the 30-yard line with some pushing and shoving as there, and Collins makes the tackle on the special teams. Let's recap what has happened so far in this first half. Jet with the 12-yard touchdown reception, and West Virginia went on top 7-0. Then Gardocki with a 27-yard field goal, and Clemson cut it to a 4-point margin. And just a moment ago. McFadden on the 1-yard run. The sweep to the right side. Gardocki with the extra point, and that's how we stand at 10-7. Ford hit in the backfield as Rico Tyler could not get the block on Brewster, and he'll be knocked down for a loss. Kevin, here's another thing I've just been handed, that the Clemson drive consumed 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Their first 3 drives of the night totaled only 8 minutes and 59. There's the drive. 18 plays covering 80 yards. Major, all the time in the world. Now the pressure comes on him and tries to get away, and he will be sacked as the ball now comes away. Rico Tyler winds up with it, and he'll take it to the 28-yard line.
He threw that ball. He threw that ball. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He threw that ball. And this is an outrageous play at the end of the half in a close game in your own territory. Watch Major Harris. Now, he hasn't seen anything as quick as these linebackers. He's not getting away. Watch this.
Here's Hammond grabbing a hold.
Look at this. You just cannot do that. You can't do that, Major. If you want to get drafted, you cannot do that.
It's going to be a 3rd down. And for West Virginia, they need to take the ball just out across their own 41-yard line. Pressure from the outside. Kirkland will hit him first. Gets away from Hammond, still on his feet, and this time gets knocked down for sure at the 35 by Arlington Nunn.
Well, you just had a look in 2 plays. You just had a look at the best and the worst of Major Harris. Now, he will make a play athletically that no one can make. And look at this. The speed of these guys. Look at the strength as he pulls away from linebackers and linemen. This is a quarterback. No. That's a running back, folks.
Greg Herzog comes in to punt it. If you're wondering at home why Clemson did not call a timeout to stop the clock with just over a minute to play, it is very simple. They don't have any remaining. 2 punts tonight for Herzog for 48, and he gets another dandy. Davis on the run at the 23. Going to take it back to the middle of the field, and that is indeed puzzling because the sideline was right there to his right to stop the clock. Timeout on the field with 47 ticks left until halftime. We'll be right back. The Mazda game has been disappointed. 10-7 our score with 47 seconds left until halftime. Ron Franklin along with Kevin Kiley. We hope you're enjoying this one. Morocco goes to Henderson. Weaves his way, still on his feet, out across the 35. Has the first down. Warren Suber will make the stop, but it's a gain of 13.
That's a play that you in this situation, you have to be ready for Clemson to run that play. A draw creates natural holes. Look at the time of possession. West Virginia, 10-20, and they dominated early. Clemson has taken the lead there.
Morocco under pressure, gets the ball away, and it is caught by Fletcher. Coming back at the 42-yard line. 24 seconds left. The clock will stop just momentarily until those chains have moved. It was Turnbull with the pressure. Morocco did not know what to do with it. Couldn't get rid of it, and with no timeouts, you can see the clock running. The coaching staff bouncing around on the far sideline. They want to get him to take a snap and throw it out of bounds. Throws it up the field over the head of Rodney Fletcher, and now 3 seconds left until halftime.
This is not Clemson's game. You can see the confusion on the sideline. This is not a team that runs a 2-minute drill very well. Morocco is confused on the play before that. Cost them an attempt at a field goal.
Gardocki comes on. He'll punt it.
Check that.
No, he's going to try a field goal. I take that back. 61 yards.
I meant to say it cost him an attempt at a reasonable field goal.
This is one short of what he has kicked. His best is 62. The ball is on the way and not going to be long enough. So they head to the locker room on that unsuccessful 61-yard field goal attempt with our score. The Clemson Tigers 10 and West Virginia, the Mountaineers 7. We'll be back with halftime. halftime activities after this.
1 minute 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Clemson leads 10-7. We'll be back with halftime activities after this. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Clemson leads 10-7. We'll be back with halftime activities after this. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Clemson leads 10-7. We'll be back with halftime activities after this.
It has been a very long time since a Major Harris offense was limited to that in the first 30 minutes of play. Gardocki with the kick. High end of a end, and this will come down to Hayes, 2 yards deep. When he stepped out, he's going to have to bring it. And he is hit as he crosses the 10 at a very inauspicious beginning for the Mountaineers here in the third quarter. Speaking of those stats, this is the way they went. Rushing yardage, West Virginia, 55, 75 passing for the total 130. And you see the total of 180 by Clemson. But probably more importantly, just what Danny Ford wanted, 18:40 on possession time. The longer you hold it, the lesser amount of time that gentleman can be on the field to perform his magic. Rico Tyler, the big fullback, in the grasp of Kirkland as he takes it out across the 17 to the 18. Let's take a look at West Virginia's first half possessions. First time that they got their hands on the football, it was following a 63-yard punt. And they took it 96 yards. Then a punt, another punt, only gaining 15 yards, then gained 3 on that last series and punted again. Still rolling, dumps it off, has it complete to Tyler across the 35, and it's good for the Mountaineer first down plus a few.
That's Major Harris at his relaxed best, but the key to it again is that that big first down play. They got enough yardage so that they were a little bit of a question mark on second down, and Major just kind of took a leisurely stroll to the sideline and tossed a nice soft pass to his fullback.
You know, his players said yesterday, it is just really that, just a game to him. He does not get flustered or excited. Hand off on the draw play, Hyder. He's been the workhorse so far on this series. Out to the 40. Doug Brewster defensively comes up to make the stop for Clemson. You see Hammond right there, number 90. His father was a highway patrolman in South Carolina, and for the longest he thought he was going to be a Gamecock. And then when it came right down to it, he wound up putting on the orange. He said he used to stand on the sidelines. He'd get in with his dad, who worked patrol during the ball game.
Well, yeah, his dad worked at Clemson games, and he saw quite a few of them.
Ford breaks off one tackle, cannot get by McDaniel. That's a good open field hit. The sophomore from Batesville, South Carolina, will knock him down after a short game.
This is a very deep handoff, and Clemson has very quick inside backers. Watch him. Here comes Brewster with the interference. Daniel comes and makes the play. That handoff, the reason the fullback works a little bit better is because he hits the hole quicker. Look how long this play takes to develop. There is a hole there, but he can't get to it.
Super reaction by McDaniel. Third down. Major rolling the pocket. Lots of pressure from Johnson. Now going to reverse his field. This is what he does best. Kirkland in pursuit. Oh, was he leveling? And the pass is thrown incomplete. And Major Harris almost had his shoulder pads taken off.
Major has never seen a defense not only that runs this well, but watch the leverage. Watch Johnson stay on the outside, more on the inside, okay? They drive him deep enough. Now they've got him going away from his arm. Running left, throwing right, and Kirkland puts the finisher on.
Punt away to Davis. Good coverage kick. Wobbly spiral, and he runs away from it. He lost it for a moment. It goes inside the 15, and Clemson will be scrimmaging from deep in their own territory following a 47-yard punt.
I don't know that I really did justice as you look at Major Harris. He's not what he needs. He's not going to get over the phone. I didn't do justice to the defense of Clemson on that particular series. Not only are these guys great athletes, but you can see the coaching and the discipline of the defense. The hardest thing to do is to stay in the lanes when you're rushing a guy like that, and they are getting it done.
The angles of pursuit is something that Danny Ford spent a world of time working on coming into this ball game, preparing for Harris. Henderson. Little stagger step, breaks off one tackle, then it'll be knocked down. That's 49, Chris Herring again. Take a look at Clemson in their first half possessions. They got off to a little bit of a sleepy start, 13 yards in a punt, then 19 in a punt. Then they got a wake-up call, 39 yards in a field goal, and then the 80-yard drive, which almost consumed more time than the first 3 times that they had the football. That's how we stand at 10-7 with the Tigers on top, third period. Kennedy breaks off 2 tacklers, still on his feet. Third effort and out to the 35. 18 yards in the running play, and Kennedy says, yep, I liked it myself.
Against a big, strong team, the thing you want to do, you want to spread them out. This is not a very quick team for West Virginia. Now watch the spread. Watch the splits in the line. A big split on the right side and a quick handoff to the fullback. No time for West Virginia to close that natural hole made by the splits. Kennedy's through it, and they make big yardage. That's just winning by alignment.
6 carries, 48 yards for Kennedy. Pitch, here they come with a reverse. Davis is going to throw the ball. Gets off a wobbly spiral, and it's going to be intercepted by Waters. Cooper, the intended receiver, and Preston Waters comes up with the interception, his 7th.
Well, one of the things that Clemson never does in their own territory is take a chance. Until they get to a bowl game, that is, and they try the reverse pass. And Danny Ford, you won't see this for another 10 years. Around the year 2000, I think he'll try that one again, because he doesn't like to throw the ball regularly, much less reverse pass. Danny's saying, now let me wipe that one away. That's a bad taste in my mouth.
Waters is like a magnet to the football. 7 pickoffs this year. They fake the sweep reverse. Harris gets it away and has it complete. Greg Dykes down at the 45-yard line.
That was incredible. I mean, this guy, he'll make your jaw go slack. There's no question about it. That was an incredible play. Watch the power in his arm. Watch the gun. Oh, and nobody can do that. And look where he throws it. Right on the fingertips. And that's the athletic ability. Quarterback, I don't know. Athlete, you bet.
Ford, check at 33, Eugene Napoleon, who was in the backfield at tailback. 393 yards in the season for him, and he is hit with an ankle-high tackle and only a short gain.
Napoleon has had an Achilles problem most of the year. This is a very, very good back. He was a transfer from Pitt. Early in his career, he came to West Virginia and has been a big man in the offense this year, hampered by that injury.
10-7 our score. Clemson leads. The Mountaineers driving. Fake the draw. Pressure was on. Can he get away? Yes, and then no. Wayne Simmons, Mr. Persistency on this one, simply would not say, I'm going to go away.
I said at the head, Major Harris is incredibly quick. There's just a few players that are a little bit quicker than Major on the field, and they are linebackers for Clemson. Wayne Simmons, his natural middle name, the General, and he is after the Major. Watch him miss him. Now look at his quickness. Hey, I'm coming to get you, Major. Number 9 has not seen the likes of this kind of speed yet this year.
Had him twice. Took a third time to bring him down. Harris now 6 rushes, 3 yards. Going to scramble out of the pocket. Kirkland steps up in his face as he goes long. Has a man there, and it's intercepted. 15, Robert O'Neill. To the ball on the other side of the field, Robert O'Neill, his 8th interception. Clemson's football. Oh, that you saw just a moment ago, last night in the St. Johns River. In some of the Capacity House here at the Gator Bowl, celebrating the 45th year. 10-7, Clemson on top, just over 9 to play, third period. Morocco's pass, he's tipped and now incomplete. Scott Summits, I think, got a hand on it.
We've talked about the ability of Clemson to contain Major Harris. I want you to watch Levon Kirkland, number 44, come upfield, contain him here, and Van Salmon force him right here out of the pocket. This is team defense, and then the O'Neal interception as a basis. Watch number 90. He makes a move. See Kirkland on the left, 44, holds him in the pocket, and O'Neal is back. Now that is great team defense and outstanding coaching.
Morocco with the option, pitches it back last moment to Henderson, fights forward as Proctor comes up to put the stop on him, and is going to be close to the first down but shy, just out inside the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what surprises me in this game, Ron. Clemson has had some real problems with some of their first down passes, and they were controlling the ball in the second quarter. That big drive they had to take the lead. I'm surprised they didn't just come out and start pounding away on West Virginia on the ground.
Morocco breaks it open at the 50, and he falls down. 28 yards. Graduated last summer.
Ronaldo Turnbull, 87. We watched him against Syracuse. He did a great job on the option. He has the pitch man on this play. And the pitch man doesn't have the ball. See, Ronaldo turned his back on the quarterback. Herring had the inside pursuit, 49 on Morocco. He overran it. Morocco got up the field.
Henderson tries to squeeze to a small hole, and a man who has been in double figures in tackles since the first half, Chris Herring, brings him down. I mentioned that Morocco had already graduated. He graduated last summer in administrative management and now is in graduate school. And in fact, his favorite thing on Sunday is getting with wide receiver Chip Davis, and they play golf, weather permitting, and sometimes weather not permitting.
It's my favorite thing, too.
Kennedy, as he whacked at the line of scrimmage, he will have nothing. Mike Fox, he's the man who stepped up to make the initial ahead. He's 10th in the nation, is O'Neal. We mentioned it was his 8th interception. So the two gentlemen on these ball clubs who have led the way in interceptions all year long have stepped forward as Waters got his 7th of the season tonight, and O'Neal now having picked off his 8th. Henderson tripped up at the line of scrimmage, and again it's Mike Fox.
Yeah, what Mike Fox did was he knocked Jeb Flesh, the left guard, down, and the running back tripped over Flesh. That's what happened there. And Fox says he likes to create problems and havoc, and he did on that play. Did not make the tackle, but put the obstruction there.
Gardaki into punt. Darren Whitmore is the deep man for the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Very high pooch kick as Whitmore runs away from it, bounds inside the 10, and Clemson is there with the coverage, and they're going to let it roll dead at the 3.5-yard line. 39 yards on the kick, but the effectiveness is what he wanted, and he got it. This is the NFL Steelers and the Oilers and the AFC.
It'll be no better than this game. This looks like an NFL bloodbath out here.
Major Harris, and there are his numbers. First quarter, red hot. Since then, he has gone forward. Fakes the draw. Gets the pass away, and in and out of the hands of Jerome Henderson. He had the interception and dropped it.
That ball was intended for Reggie Rembert, and Rembert had never turned around. Major had some running room on the corner. Now watch him when he comes up. He's going to turn the corner. Oh, here's Reggie. Okay, let's take a look at Reggie. Reggie never turned around for this. Watch him. This ball, my mistake. He did turn around. It was a poor throw. Poor throw by Major, but definitely Major Harris had room on the corner to run that ball, and the coverage was there.
This, by the way, West Virginia starting inside the 25 of their 7 drives tonight. Rico Tyler met at the line of scrimmage, bounces off that first tackler, and will take it for a couple. That's Arlington Nunn, who hit him at the line of scrimmage. And now it's 3rd down. Don Nealon last year had a chance for the national championship against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Boy, what a super job he has done with that program at Morgantown. You see Clemson bouncing around on defense. They find an opening. Major gets it away to Tyler. Breaks off one tackle and will fight it out to the 14-yard line.
Boy, that's going to be close to a first down. What a job by both of them on that play. Here they come after Major again, and he's starting to look like a regular quarterback there. They're going to really, McLaughlin is all over him. He makes the quick step, knows he's going to get hit, but that's just a tremendous athletic play and accurate. He hits Rico. Now watch Rico. Rico's going for that first down, gets leveled by his own guy, and it's close.
1st and 10, West Virginia.
I would like to see West Virginia run the option on first down with Major Harris to the wide side of the field. They have not run it most of the game, and he is dangerous on that play.
Passing tonight on Major, 122 yards. He's 10 of 17, 1 interception. And the touchdown pass of 12 yards to Jet. That was back in the first period. Rolls the pocket, pressure from the backside, still on his feet, dumps the pass off to Tyler, complete, going to lose yardage, but how in the world he got it away, I don't know.
He's strong. He is strong. Now, this is unbalanced to the left side. They have a man over. They have a lot of people over. There's no one to Major's right to block, and that's where a lot of the pressure is going to come from. Feel it? Here it comes. McLaughlin again. And Simmons. McLaughlin's got a piece. He's got a drumstick there, and he figures... See, here's the weak side. Now, it was unbalanced the other way. McLaughlin comes inside. No time for Major and nowhere to go. And yet he still completes a pass that maybe he should not have thrown there.
Right up into the pocket. At the 20 to the 21. Doug Brewster got an arm around his leg. And it's going to be a 3rd down, and they need the 24-yard line.
They need to put Major Harris on the corner earlier in every series. And that would open up the running game if they could get him loose.
Timeout called by Major Harris in West Virginia. So with 3 minutes, 25 seconds left in the 3rd period, Clemson still leads 10-7.
Harris has had quite a season on 3rd down. He's a man who makes a living. Now, this is what he has done on 3rd down this season. You can see 50% of the time he has had success on 3rd down. Tonight, well, a little bit of a different story. The yellow, those are the ones he's had success on. You can see with the option in the pass and the 7-yard pass. But he has only completed or been successful 3 of 8 times. This is the 12th 3rd down situation. And I predict that Major Harris will handle the ball in some fashion.
Fakes the draw, deep in the pocket, wanted to step up and run in the grass, gets the pass away, incomplete, I believe. Yes. Looking for Eugene Napoleon.
The key to this play is watch the Clemson defense close the net on Major Harris. And I still don't know. He's dropping straight back. Now watch how they surround him.
That's Bodine, number 99, who has him in the grass.
There's nowhere for him to go. They're keeping outside leverage and pressuring up the middle, and he just doesn't have a chance.
Herzog has averaged 47 yards a kick tonight, and a flag goes down. They roughed it. West Virginia will get the football back. The Clemson coaches think that they got a piece of the football, but the marker is down back at the 13.
number 32, Mitch Belton. He thinks he got the ball. Center of your screen, right up the middle. I don't see it. I don't see him getting a piece of the ball, but he definitely got a piece of the kicker. From another angle. I don't see it. Didn't really hit him that hard, actually. Just kind of brushed him. This is a big play for West Virginia.
15 yards stepped off of the play. The new line of scrimmage out to the 36. So with 3:08 to play third period, Clemson continues to lead 10-7. Very few penalties in this one tonight. In fact, that is the first one against the Tigers.
Go, Major!
Napoleon crosses the 40. Vince Taylor, number 58, he's a senior out of Clearwater, Florida. Comes over to make the initial hit. It's going to be a gain of about 5 in the play.
It's a big play for West Virginia, for the Mountaineers on first down. Again, that's the key. It's going to be closer to 6 yards, and that opens up their entire offense. Creates problems for Clemson.
You know, Major said to me yesterday, for people that say I can't play in the NFL, they said the same thing about me coming out of high school, that I couldn't play in college. Pitch goes to Napoleon. There's nothing there. That's 92 Brewster and then Ed McDaniel, who combined to the stop, and it's going to be a third down.
You know, I don't know that Major Harris, I'm speculating here, I don't know that he does not have an injury. They have not run the option, put him on the corner. They're running drop back pass when they go, and this does not look like he's aggressive on the ground.
Takes the draw, rolls the pocket. Kirkland on the outside is after him, and the ball is hit just as the ball is delivered, and scramble for it at the 47. No signal. Undoubtedly, they're going to rule it as a fumble. As the ball goes forward out across the 45, and it is Clemson's football. Arlington none.
All right, again, they're not going to let Major Harris get loose. And here's Levon Kirkland. Keep his hands up. That's perfect defense to this point. And now he's got a shot at Major Harris. Harris brings the ball up to throw it. Kirkland gets it. It's loose. Clemson has it. Here we go again. Major, again, there's no way Major Harris ever eats the ball. He'll put it up. If he has an inch, he'll put it up. He got it up in the air, and Kirkland swatted it away.
If the ball had not come out of his hands, I think they would have ruled it an incomplete pass, but he lost the grip as Kennedy takes it for 2, maybe 3 yards, and Jim Gray knocks his feet out from under him. Is it his last collegiate football game? Lots of speculation down here at the Gator Bowl and around the country saying that it is.
I think that Major Harris would be a perfect player for the Canadian League. He is the consummate Canadian League quarterback, a great athlete, all that room to roam, and he would be one super Canadian League player.
Kennedy again, a hit at the line of scrimmage, and let's go down to Chris Fowler. Chris.
Fellas, I'm with Sandra Harris, Major's mom. Been a tough night for your son so far. Evaluate his play.
Oh, yes, it has been tough for him.
Agreement about the offensive line. You think they're not giving him enough protection?
No, they're not giving him any protection. He's running for his life.
What would be your advice to him as far as his plans for next season?
If it was me, I'd come on out of there, but he has to make his own decision.
You'll advise him to come to the NFL?
I would.
Can he make it in the NFL? A lot of people have speculated he's better for the Canadian Football League.
I believe he can make it anywhere he goes.
Okay, thank you, Sanders, fellas.
Major's mom. Morocco on the keep. Still on his feet inside the 35, and he has the first down plus 5. Well, very confident is Mrs. Harris that her son can play professionally. And that's one of the things that Major definitely has a bonus of. He has lots and lots of confidence in himself. And to go along with that ability, who in the world is to argue with it?
No, and I find that very interesting that his mother would tell him to come out. I find that very interesting comment. I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
Henderson. Great work on the left side of the line behind the blocking of Bratton and also Flesh. Brockman made the stop, and now Clemson picking up very large chunks of real estate, and that is the end of the third period. 4 fingers are up down on the field here at the Gator Bowl, so we're going to take a timeout. Clemson 10, West Virginia 7. We'll be back with the final 5. Well, for this man, this is where it all started, here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, 11 years ago for Danny Ford. 19 days to prepare as a head coach. Right now, his ball club with a second down at the West Virginia 24. McFadden goes straight ahead, close to the first down, and in fact, it looks as though he has it.
You get the impression in this game that Clemson is way ahead because West Virginia's offensive success was so early in the game, but the Mountaineer defense has really done a job throughout the 3 quarters of this game, holding Clemson to 10 points. And now the biggest challenge, obviously, of the game here.
1st and 10 Clemson. The ball just outside the 22. Morocco with the pitch. Henderson gets outside, going to be knocked out of bounds. Whitmore with a good hit on the far sideline. Denying him what appeared to be lots of yardage. Storyline in this one so far as we have played the first 45 minutes of this ball game between Clemson and the Mountaineers. Major Harris, 2 turnovers, 4 sacks. McFadden for Clemson a touchdown run in the second quarter, and the attendance tonight, and that is a new Mazda Gator Bowl record, 82,911. And at rushing tonight, Morocco 65, Major Harris with 12. The old record 82,136. That was Oklahoma State and South Carolina. Henderson diving forward, and he's close to the first down, but you can see from the linesman coming in on the far side, I think he's going to miss it by just about a half yard. Herring and Brockman on the stop.
Now remember the success now that West Virginia had in the early part of the game against the short yardage offense of Clemson. Now this is a big, big down for West Virginia. John Nealon knows it.
One of the things that John worried about that he talked about yesterday, the quickness of the Clemson ball club, offensively and defensively. Straight ahead in the handoff, McFadden goes for very short yardage. Does he have the first down as they come in again with the spot? As Summits made the hit, and the players are signaling first down, nothing for the officials.
McFadden stopped by Brockman.
And they'll bring in the change to measure.
Don Nealon very excited about playing this game. He wanted to test his program against the program that he felt was one of the best in the nation. He felt that the Clemson, he has great respect for the Clemson team. Not going to make it, huh? The Clemson team and the coaches. Now here's an interesting call. Do you go for the 3 or do you go for the yard or half yard?
Morocco comes away from the sideline. Fields and Ty Gibson, 2 tight end alignment, will check into the ball game for Clemson. 4th down, and they'll go for it just inches to pick up the first down.
Stacey Long is their best lineman, and they're very fullback oriented. Short yardage.
Morocco straight ahead, and from forward progress, it would appear that he's got it. Summits and Fox combining on the tackle. Now a momentary timeout. They're going to bring the change in again. Another point that Don brought out in our meeting yesterday was that recruiting, yes, he admits, with the success they've had, 7 bowl games in the 80s, it keeps getting better and better. It never gets easier. But more kids are attracted to West Virginia. And why not? First down, Clemson.
Well, quarterback sneak, you can't go wrong if you have that offensive line. And the offensive line moves them out. You see, they got under Fox. 61. Early in the game, he had been very low, and he had been underneath the offense. On that play, the offense got lower.
At the 12, 1st and 10.
Henderson has his feet knocked out from under him. It was Scott Summit. You can see number 73 on the ground there. out at 6'3", 282 pounds. He got one of those big arms out and knocked his feet right out from under it.
Summit and Buckman made the stop.
Classic Clemson football now. That what they will do is they'll test the middle and then they'll jump outside on you, especially if West Virginia goes to what they call an eagle defense. If they move their outside people down in, they will attempt to go around it.
Morocco gonna keep it inside the 5, and oh, does he get stuck. That was Drumgold, the first man, and then Steve Grant, who arrived just after it.
Morocco makes a slight hesitation at the point of contact here. Now watch him. He's going to come out wide. Watch just before he gets hit and see if he doesn't slow down just a little bit. Right here he has some momentum, but then he starts to go down. He was almost ready to go down, and West Virginia helped him, and that's how you get hurt. Best thing you do is just plow in there.
Now it's 3rd down, and this is the biggest one so far for both. For West Virginia, they'd like to force them into a field goal situation, and Clemson says, we know it's important, we want to call timeout. So with 11 minutes, 48 seconds left in the ball game, 10-7, and the Tigers driving. Pitch to Henderson. Pursuit by West Virginia, and he scores. Now with 22 carries in the ball game, 93 yards and a touchdown. Out of the hole to Morocco. Gardaki sends it home, and the Clemson Tigers jump in front by 10.
You can coach a lot of things, but you can't coach this. Watch number 25 right of your screen for West Virginia. Lawrence Drumgold is there, but he gets outrun by Henderson. He had the leverage, he made the play, he just couldn't catch the ball carrier.
And the guy that you have to give more credit to than anybody on the play is a young fellow who is very Reed-like, and that's Gary Cooper. He is the man number 25. You can see the block sealed on the outside, and that cut down as far as what the Mountaineers had in containment to that side of the field. ESPN's presentation of college football continues in January with a couple of postseason all-star games. On January the 13th, it's the Japan Bowl, live from Yokohama at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on the 20th, it's the Senior Bowl from Mobile, Alabama. All the action begins there at 2:30 Eastern Time. Your last chance to see the college football stars of 1989. Don Nealon knows that they got to make something happen in a hurry, get in the end zone, and then get the ball back. Down by 10. Hayes at the goal line. Out across the 35 and all the way to the 39-yard line. Well, that's a good start right there, and now you put it in the hands of number 9. Can he work major magic again? He has done it so many times while at Morgantown. Harris with the option. Pitches back to Napoleon. Gets a block on the outside, and he'll take it all the way to the 50-yard line. Jerome Henderson pushes him out of bounds, but a first down picked up for the Mountaineers. Gain of 12.
So I've been waiting for that one for about 3 series to see that option on first down. Now that is the play that has been missing from the West Virginia arsenal. Watch Major. See, they make him throw it right away, but Simmons is caught inside, forcing Major to pitch, and now they have the ball on the perimeter.
99 yards rushing, West Virginia. Wants to throw the ball. He fumbles it. Vince Taylor hitting from behind, and he wants It was Simmons who caused the turnover.
All right, they try the option to the other side. Now watch Simmons just flatten out, and he'll come right down the line and hit Major from behind. Now Harris is just kind of walking down the line, looking for a spot. Here comes Simmons. Gets his hand on the ball, the hat in the back, and the ball is loose. Now, I'll tell you, Clemson has played remarkably defensively. Again, to flatten out and chase him down, that great speed of the Clemson linebackers. Major never had a chance there. No way to tell he was going to get hit from the back, and he dropped it.
Here is the man whose given name is General. Straight ahead with the handoff, Reggie Lawrence, a junior out of Jacksonville, coming back home to play. Will have about 4 yards. Mage gets back on the phone to talk with the coordinators upstairs. The misery index, as far as West Virginia is concerned, that's 3 turnovers, 4 sacks by the Clemson defense, 11 hurries, and 8 knockdowns.
And what you don't see there really is how well they have played, stayed in their lanes, and what a great job the coaching staff has done with that defense.
Kennedy, right up the middle, fights his way down to the 40. Going to miss the first down by about a half yard as Theron Ellis finally corrals him.
Of course, the byproduct of that fumble on the second play from scrimmage is the fact that the defense has to come back out on the field, and they have been in there for some long drives against a very tough offensive line. And now is the time, and Don Nehlen knows that this defense has to stiffen with just over 10 minutes to go.
Morocco hit and is knocked down for a loss. Again, it's Mike Fox.
And here is a guy who has played one tremendous game. Mike Fox, let's cause a little chaos, says Mike Fox, and he gets into the backfield and drops Morocco. Watch number 61. He's just going to slice right through there. Nobody blocks him. They're optioning the tackle. Mike's supposed to be fooled. He wasn't fooled.
What was said yesterday is out on the field coming to special teams, and Danny Ford doesn't want to take a chance following the loss on 4th down, and he will punt it away. But Mike Fox says there's only one way to define the way I'm going to play tomorrow night, and that's I'm going to play reckless.
He said, yeah, we asked him if he'd have some emotion playing his last game. He said, every time I come on the field, I play with great emotion. And of all the people we've seen this year, he really has made an impact. Every down, that kid plays football.
Clemson taking a delay of game penalty here. The new line of scrimmage, the 48.5-yard line. You remember what happened the last time Gardocki punted? A pooch kick that went dead inside the 10-yard line. In fact, inside the 5. Whitmore is the deep man for the Mountaineers. Hanging spiral, runs away from it, out of bounds again. Inside the 10, this time at the 9. 39-yard punt, and Gardocki puts West Virginia back deep again. Just 7 our score. Clemson leads with 9:05 to play in the ball game. West Virginia opened up like a house of fire. But since that first drive, this is what they have done offensively. In 8 drives, only 108 yards. I would say defensively that Clemson made some very correct adjustments. With the give to Napoleon, and he gets ripped by Brewster. Let's go down to the sideline, and here's Chris Fowler.
With Gaston Caperton, the governor of West Virginia, who reminded me this game is not over yet. Governor, if you could sum up what West Virginia football means to you today.
Well, Coach Nehlen's done a great job, and the great team, and the people in West Virginia love the Mountaineers.
I know you'd love to see Major stick around for another year.
Oh, Major's been great to West Virginia, but he's not the whole program, and we've got a great future in football in West Virginia.
Okay, thanks very much, Governor.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Governor. Harris folds down at the pass once. Now stops, wants to go long. All the time in the world, zips it downfield, incomplete, looking for Rimbert. Rimbert has not caught a pass since early on in the first quarter. And he looked for the big guy then, but he couldn't get away.
Now, Ron, you're exactly right. He looked for Rimbert. For that entire sequence, Rembert was the guy that Major Harris wanted to go with, and they had single coverage out here. Now watch Rembert. Not open there. And he's not open there. And Major is running around trying to buy some time. And then finally underthrows him as he gets picked up deep. Again, excellent defense by Clemson.
Third down. Harris caught in the pocket. Ball is loose. And touchdown Clemson. Chester McLaughlin. From Clemson next year, McLaughlin is not even a starter, but it has, coming into this game, 8 tackles for a loss. He is only a freshman, 6'4", 296 pounds, and he has just scored a touchdown on the fumble recovery. Kick by Gardocki is up and good.
Well, there's not a quarterback in the country that could operate under these conditions. Major just takes a 3-step drop, has no time. McLaughlin's going to get him from the back, strip him. And that is really not Harris's fault. I mean, Harris had no time to get the ball off, and it's a matter of too much talent defensively for the offensive line.
Every time he's looked up, 44 and 12. The two outside backers have been in his face. Let's take a break. Left to the ball game, and Clemson now has opened it up to a 17-point lead following the fumble recovery by the big freshman McLaughlin, who made the hit, stripped him of the ball, and then made his own recovery.
Tough night for that man, and he has been forced to be a drop-back quarterback, and then Clemson has just closed in on him, and really a tribute to the Clemson defense to be able to stop a guy of that caliber.
I'll tell you somebody that could make Major feel a lot better, and let's talk to Peter Tom Willis. When they faced this same ball club, you know how good Florida State is, and they had the same kind of problems against this defense. Jet straight ahead, crossing the 20 and out to the 24.
I think what's happened here is that West Virginia is so outside conscious with those two great outside linebackers. McLaughlin has single blocking. Ratcher can't handle him, and he gets loose right away. Takes care of Major Harris and the ball. And that is that's a 10 on a scale of 10 for a defensive tackle, yes.
Well, we talked about 16 players coming back for Clemson next year of the starters. As I mentioned, this kid hasn't even started a game. He's a backup, and he's only a freshman.
That's at least 17, I guess. Well, he can count for 2.
Pressure on Major Harris, runs out of it as a marker goes down. Tries to get to the sideline, and is knocked out at the 25 again. I mentioned 12 and 44 have been all over the field and on him tonight. That time it was John Johnson.
Force him to make a decision immediately and run him down with the great speed. Now, yeah, and you're going to get holding on top of that for West Virginia.
John Ray checks into the ball game at right tackle for West Virginia. .125 yards by Major tonight. 2 fumbles, 1 interception. He has the 1 touchdown pass. That one to Jet, 12 yards, first period.
Holding. Replay first down.
Number 2, Greg Dykes, who is also a senior, comes in with a play from the sideline. Tough thing is facing a defense that has been tough to handle all night anyway, and now leading by 17, they really can just put their ears back and come after the quarterback. Running play, Eugene Napoleon. Ball is loose. Clemson has come up with the football inside the 20-yard line. Vance Hammond, I believe, has made the recovery. Nope, they're going to say West Virginia football. His knee was down. Brewster is the man who took his feet out from under him.
I want you to watch how many Clemson players get off their blocks and go to the right of your screen. Now watch the orange shirts. Brewster's 92, plays off the block. The ball is in there somewhere, whether it's loose or not. But look at the orange shirts and hats around that ball. The ball was definitely loose, and Hammond was close to getting it. When it came loose, impossible to tell from that angle.
Brewster goes to the sideline. He has 8 tackles in the ball game, and will hold it right here with 7:22 left to play. Well, as far as sunshine success for Danny Ford, 5-0 in bowl games. Once in the regular season he has won. It's been a good state for him to play in.
I'll say a lot of credit for that, I think, has to go to the people, the fans of Clemson. They're only about 6 or 7 hours from here, and they turn out. I think if you look at this stadium and see how much orange is in this stadium, they will follow Clemson to games, and these games are almost like home games for Clemson. When they get in a bowl game, their fans jump on their Winnebagos, and they head south. And you give them credit. The Tiger fans are as good as any fans in the country.
I'll tell you what,
get pumped up.
After going to Morgantown, though, I put them in the top 10 of fans as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I'm saying about the Danny in Florida and the Clemson team in Florida, it's not that far a trip for them, and they will turn out.
Major straight back in the pocket. Wants to step up. Brings it to the sideline. He'll run it. At the 25 is caught with the shoulder pads. Vince Taylor pushes him out of bounds at the 29.
Well, the look on his face, it's like a shell-shocked look. How do these people catch me? And they do catch him. And we talked about the head of the show about the linebackers, how quick they were. They have run him down repeatedly tonight.
That's his longest run of the night. That's a gain of 11 yards by Major Harris. And it's now 3rd down, and they need just to cross the 29 to pick up this first down. Short drop. Sent to the pocket, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Ashley Shepard, another freshman who had just come into the ball game.
You talk about leverage, and you need to be everywhere to stop Major Harris. Watch this defensive line stay in their lanes. Outside contain. Ashley Shepard goes up on the block of Rico Tyler and makes the stop.
Hertzog with the punt. This is Davis at the 33. Tries to get to the right side of the field. Good coverage by West Virginia. He'll be tackled at the 37. So just under 7 minutes to play. It's a 37-yard punt and 6 on the return. And the pressure on Harris, well, this is what he's been confronted with all night. Kevin Kiley back in Jacksonville, Florida. This is the Mazda Gator Bowl as they celebrate their 45th anniversary. And with just under 7 minutes to play, Clemson with a 17-point lead and a new quarterback, Deshaun Cameron, a sophomore out of LaGrange, Georgia, comes in. Quarterback takes it on the reverse out across the 40, and Turnbull comes over to make the tackle. Quarterback of the future as far as the Tigers are concerned. 401 yards passing, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, but look at that completion percentage, and if that's not typical of a Clemson quarterback, you never hear about these guys in terms of national exposure and passing quarterbacks, but they are technicians. You get behind the center of Clemson, you better be able to handle the ball.
Keeps the ball again out across the 45, close to the first down, going to miss it by a yard, and now a marker comes from deep downfield. As some late activity was going on between a defensive back and one of the wide receivers. We were unable to get a number. 6:05 left to play in the ball game.
When I looked at this game, I thought that if after the penalty here,
Personal foul against West Virginia. First down.
When I looked at this game, I thought the speed factor would hurt West Virginia on defense, and it has not. Clemson has used their power game, and they have run the ball, and their offensive line has done an outstanding job. I am really surprised that they are as quick as they are defensively against that West Virginia offense. That's really where the speed has really played a major part in this game.
Complete down the middle, inside the 10 to the 5-yard line is Rodney Fletcher. Whistles are blowing, play is still going on, and that's good for 35 yards. Frustration setting in just a little bit as the play continued. That is right into the teeth of the Clemson fan supporters on that end of the field.
A great job by Cameron. He gets mixed up a little bit here, but he keeps his head. And then Fletcher, the problem comes when Fletcher won't go down. His kid's only 186 pounds. Well, look at the effort.
First and goal, Clemson. Fletcher now 3 carries, 67 yards. That's Reggie Lawrence, a junior out of Jacksonville, who takes it down in the vicinity of the 3 Steve Grant defensively for the Mountaineers.
Lawrence, the ball carrier.
When you think about this team next year, this Clemson team, you start trying to piece it together. They have 16 of 22 players coming back, and we thought, at least I thought, after the Florida State game, I was looking at one of the better teams in the nation, and they lost to Duke. Georgia Tech had a lull, but they are really at the top of their game, and they will be next year.
Lawrence spun around. Boy, he gets whacked at the line of scrimmage. Again, it's Mike Fox.
Lawrence, the carrier.
I don't know what round Michael is going to go in. And he said yesterday he really doesn't care about the hype or the publicity or what people say. He wants to make a good showing. I think what the East-West Shrine game is the game that he's playing in, and then to go to Indianapolis for the Combine, which is where they're timed by the scouts. I think he'll wind up playing on Sunday for a long time. I would be really surprised.
He's a great college player, and technique-wise, he's excellent. He's very tall, and yet he plays very low when he gets off blocks very quickly. And that is something that pro scouts will look at, not his flat-out speed.
Third down. And a timeout was being signaled. You could see Fletcher, number 11, standing up on the outside. And now let's see if he was given the timeout before the play was run.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Clemson, still third down.
Danny coaching for next year.
You see that there are not too many players around him, and everybody is kind of migrating in the opposite direction. Nobody wants to, under those circumstances, you don't want to stand around him.
You were telling me you went fishing with him early in the week. I saw that piece. Who cooked up all those fish?
Oh, it didn't take long.
It didn't?
It's not hard to cook air.
Under 4 minutes to play, and now Cameron calls a timeout. So Clemson takes the timeout with just under 4 minutes to play in the ball game. Immediately following our game tonight, it is SportsCenter with John Saunders and Tom Mees. They're going to wrap up the entire day in sports. Then at midnight, be sure to stick around for 1989, the year in review. ESPN taking a look back at the last 12 months in sports. And let's go down to the sideline once again. Here's Chris Fowler. Chris?
Ron, I agree with you guys about Clemson next season. Kevin, you talked about the starters coming back. 10 of 11 of those starters are on defense. We're getting a look at next year's quarterback in Deshaun Cameron. Another factor is the schedule. They have Georgia and South Carolina. They're two big rivals in Death Valley. Their toughest road game might be Virginia, and they have owned the Cavaliers. 29 straight victories over Virginia. Those two factors should make Clemson a very strong preseason #1 in a lot of people's minds.
A lot of those youngsters getting some valuable playing experience tonight with the game a 17-point margin right now. Cameron gets the pitch back. Henderson maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it as they run it back to the middle of the field. It's 4th down, and Gardocki will come on to try to tack on 3 more points to make it a 20-point lead.
Now, this kid's had quite a night, hasn't he? I think he's going to gets by people. He's the field goal and the punter, and one of the best in the nation at both.
And plus the fact being a left footer as a punter makes it extremely tough on deep people. Pick is up, but it's good.
Yeah, good. Gardocki for a field
22
goal.
of 28 on the year for Gardocki. 3:16 left of the ball game. Clemson by 20. Carolina, and right down here in Jacksonville for those that are wearing orange. They wrestled and wrestled, momentum away from that gentleman there late in the first quarter, and simply have not let it go since. 27-7.
I don't think what should not be lost here are the strides that the West Virginia program has made. 7 bowl games in 10 years under Don Nehlen, and whether Major Harris stays or not, he will go down as one of the great, if not the greatest player ever to play at West Virginia University.
Tell you what, there's a very fine young man by the name of Greg Jones who is waiting in the wings as Kubo with the kickoff, and this one's going to go out of bounds, and they'll kick it off again, this time from the 30. Well, we got just a couple of seconds of stoppage in play, with Clemson returning 16 starters. Many predict they might be preseason #1. We talked with Stacy Fields about that.
Well, I guess a lot of that is due to credit that we'll have a lot of returning lettermen coming back, and I think a lot of times sports writers base the preseason rankings on the performance from last year and who they have returning for the upcoming year. So I can see us being ranked high, but I mean #1, I don't know.
Stacy Fields, tight end for the Tigers of Clemson. He's got another year returning. Junior out of Frogmore, South Carolina. Kick coming to the near sideline, bouncing around, and now has been taken by Timmy Williams. Oh, my goodness. Crosses the 20, and Scott is there to level him.
All right, here's Scott going to come up here on the replay. Now, this ball looked like it was going out of bounds. Everybody was a little bit off, except for Scott. And now Williams will need a map to find the sideline. I was going to say, we also talked to Stacy Fields about how he felt people were perceived, this Clemson program was perceived. Talk about that in a second.
Greg Jones, the young man I was just talking about, a junior out of Miami, is in a quarterback. Sets in the pocket, drills it long, looking for Rembert, and it hit the Clemson defensive back on the top of the headgear. Tony Mauney had the ball and hit him across the stripe, and Rembert is shaken up.
Now you're looking at a possible #1 draft pick, probable #1 draft pick on the ground, Reggie Rembert. Hopefully he's not too badly injured. Let's take a look at this. Now Jones has a gun for an arm, but he obviously hasn't played that much with Major in the game. This ball is thrown hard and behind him, and here you get, looks like a clip in the ribs there for Rembert. Let's take a closer look. It's a shoulder pit right on the hip, lower side. Boy, those things can hurt.
As we take a look at this replay one more time, the interesting part of the story on Greg Jones is he backed up Testaverde when he was at Miami before transferring, and of course then coming to West Virginia and the possibilities of Major winning a Heisman Trophy. Greg Jones had to be wondering about, wherever I go, I'm backing up a guy who was in the running for the top honor.
Well, how good am I? You know, all these guys are great. Well, Greg Jones suited up for the Fiesta Bowl in 1986 when Miami lost to Penn State. He suited up for the University of Miami. And then, of course, last year, I guess he was on the sidelines when West Virginia played Notre Dame. And that's kind of an interesting story. This guy is a pro prospect. Tremendous arm. Very little, obviously, playing behind those guys. Very little playing experience. But people in West Virginia are excited about him getting an opportunity at some point, getting on the field. Tremendous player.
Well, another mention to be sure with us, to be with us, NFL Game Day tomorrow morning. That's 11:30 a.m. It's an inside look at the wild card playoff games. And then at 7:30 tomorrow night on NFL Primetime, you'll see highlights and interviews with the winners and losers of the 2 wild card games tomorrow from the NFC and the AFC. And remember, you're exactly right. Is favoring that hit. Looks like a pointer that he got. Major Harris signing autographs as we have 3:01 left to play in this ball game, and Clemson in control by 20 points.
It should be noted it is conceivable we have seen the last of Major Harris as a college football player on the field. I believe that's true. I'd certainly like to see him back another year. I think he should stay in college and play another year. I think it would help him a great deal.
The doggone display that I think I saw of all of '89 was when he was in the grasp at Louisville and got the pass away. Not only got it away, but got it away for a touchdown. From the 22, Jones on the draw. It's Hayes. Takes it out across the 30 to the 32. Vince Taylor, senior reserve linebacker, who's played a good ball game tonight, is the man who knocked him down. Momentary timeout as the chains are being moved across the way. Now, a disappointment for Mountaineer fans. Last year they went 11-0 during the regular season. They faced off with Notre Dame for the national championship. Lost to the Fighting Irish, came back this year, and probably the most devastating, it was not a loss, but to them, Don Nehlen says they considered it a loss. That was at 23 unanswered points by Pitt in Morgantown. And then the next week, they lost a ball game that probably should never have lost. And Don said, we just had trouble getting focus back on the season again. And in fact, the players admitted that. Well, you talk about the success that he has had in the 80s, 66, almost 67% for Don Nehlen. 7 bowl games and played for the national championship just last year.
He's a terrific guy, too.
Well, I think it starts with class, and that's what he's about. Jones caught from behind, gets away from the tackler. Hayes, great scrambling ability here, and the ball almost caught, but Dykes couldn't hold on. That would have been really something special had he been able to grab that one down.
That thing looked like an ICBM when he let go of it. He does have a strong arm.
He can hum it. He really can. Let's look at what Danny Ford has done in the 80s. Almost 76%. In 81, a national championship, 5 ACC titles, at 6 bowl games. And of course, if they win tonight, it'll be 3 straight seasons of 10 victories. And I guess all you can say, I sit here and look down this roster at all the underclassmen that are playing and will be returning. I think the only way to look at it, just look out in 1990.
Clemson, very quietly, is a very, very strong program. This senior class for Clemson will be the winningest senior class in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference after this game.
Jones, and the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Knocked down is 95, Ty Simpson. Got a hand on it.
They just keep putting them out there, don't they? They keep putting players out there. They keep doing the job. That guy looked like George Foreman, didn't he? That guy couldn't be, could it? That's not George Foreman.
I don't think he was scheduled to suit tonight, but we'll check on it.
Yeah, he may be playing somewhere, though.
It is 4th down. All interference is off of the play because the ball was tipped. So Herzog standing back inside the 10-yard line. 5 kicks, 43-yard average, and following the penalty is going to be kicking from deep in his own territory. Davis lets this one roll away. It will go dead at the 44. They got some Mazda Gator Bowl thank yous that we'd like to get in right here. The president, Charles Hughes, the executive director, John Bell, Dick Stratton, Charles Callahan, Victor Jackson, all the committee members who made the 45th Mazda Gator Bowl a huge success. And also from Clemson University, that man, Danny Ford, along with Tim Beret, and from West Virginia, Don Nealon, and Shelley Poe, the sports information director for the Mountaineers. We thank one and all. Everybody has been extremely nice and helpful this week. Michael Carr is now coming at quarterback, freshman out of Amet, Louisiana. Junior Hall, the ball carrier, as he goes off the right side. As we got a couple of seconds here, a couple of kudos to send out programs that don't get national acknowledgement, probably that they should. Ole Miss, Billy Brewer with a big win a couple of nights ago over the Air Force Academy. And to Spike Dykes and the Texas Tech Red Raiders, I'll tell you what, out on the South Plain, they won 9 ball games, and Red Raiders probably didn't get as much attention as they should, but they beat some good ball clubs this year. That's a fine, fine coach.
And a fine football team out there in Lubbock.
Pitch goes to the right side. That is Boland, who is checked into the ball game, number 48, reserve fullback. And now down to under 40 seconds. Danny Ford receiving congratulations on the far sideline from his delegation as the clock rolls down, and this should be the final play of the '89 Mazda Gator Bowl. Keeper to the right side, and that's going to do it as Michael Carr takes it on the option, and the clock counts down. Gun sounds, and the Clemson Tigers have defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers by a final score of 27-7. And let's go down to the field, and here's Chris Fowler. Chris?
Okay, thanks, Ron. I'm with Major Harris. A tough one. Your offense not quite as quick as the Clemson defense.
I mean, they came in, they had a great strategy for us, and they run to the ball real well, and they caused us a lot of problems. You just got to give their coach and their team a lot of credit.
As you walk off the field now, do you get the feeling it's for the final time as a college player?
No, not really. You know, I'm getting ready to go in and get interviewed like I'm a college player, so no.
What will be the factors in your decision as far as whether to come back for your senior year or go to the draft?
Well, you know, right now I'm still a Mountaineer. I haven't decided on what I'm going to do because, you know, like I said, I got another year left, and, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I'm just a Mountaineer.
What will be the factors? What do you think will be the most important thing in making your decision?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say right now. I really haven't sat down and thought about it. You know, I'm just, you know, taking it day by day, and, you know, I'm not really worrying about it.
When do you think you'll make your decision and make your announcement?
Well, you know, I really don't even know.
All right, Major. Ron?
Thanks very much, Chris. Final score, the Clemson Tigers 27 and West Virginia 7. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more for the Mazda Gator Bowl after this.